Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Blue Jay Way podcast with Chris May and Jack Ryan. Here with you as always, breaking down the week that was for the Toronto Blue Jays. And boy, it was one, once again, that left a good amount to be desired. Jack, we'll get into that later because it started
Yeah.
off okay, but as the week went on, it did not, the games did not get better. The game
No.
got much worse as the week went on. So we'll start
hmm
with some good, we'll end with some bad, and some serious discussions about the state of this team.
hmm
And yeah, so we'll start with the San Francisco Giants rolling into Toronto. The Jays had a nice week-long homestand after they came back from Miami off a long road trip. So it was good having them back in town.
hmm
However, Kevin Gossman takes the damn hill. And he deals, Jack. He deals.
He does deal.
But this
And we got fuck all to show for it.
This team just does not score for the guy. Poor guy. Anyways, sorry, I'm just fixing my brightness here. Anyway, we'll get to the first game here. Jays get shut out
Mhm.
by the San Francisco Giants. San Fran, mind you, was playing really well going into this. They played really well for the past, I don't know, couple weeks.
They were
Shot up.
like 12-0 on the road or something in the last 12 or
Yeah, I
13
think
or
the
something.
Jays snapped their. We'll get to it, but I think the Jays snapped a 10-game road winning streak they had.
hmm
Uh, not above 10 games. So that's good, I guess. But the Giants kept it rolling on the road in this first game here.
hmm
For Kevin Gossman, I mean, I don't really know what else you can ask for this guy from this guy. He gives you 12 strikeouts. Only gives up one earned run.
hmm
Yet he leaves this game trailing.
hmm
It's quite frustrating to see. I mean, some nights you're just, the offense just isn't gonna, have it. That's baseball. It happens to every team.
hmm
But on a night where you have your ace starting and dealing the way that he was in this game, you don't want to waste that.
No.
And it feels like the Jays wasted a great performance. However, um, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the game, but it's not ideal in the least. And
No.
yeah, tough one. But Gossman continues his just incredible season.
Yep.
Established himself as one of the best pitchers in the American League, and we'll get to his little tip of the cap, his recognition he got later in the episode when we talk about all of the Jays All Stars. But he did get nominated. He did get selected as an All Star, so that is more than deserving. I would say he's been one of the best pitchers in the league.
Yeah.
Bullpen comes in, gets, you know,
Hmm.
Swanson has had a rough stretch here. Before Monday night's game, which would have been yesterday, or Tuesday night's game, which would have been yesterday as we're recording here against the White Sox. He had a good inning there. But his struggles continued. He allowed a two-run bomb. And the Jays just go quietly into the night. Not much to say. It just sucks that you're wasting these performances from Kevin Gossman.
hmm
Score a run on the bullpen. They lose 10-0. Who cares? But when Kevin Gossman's out there dealing, giving you 12 strikeouts over 6 innings with one earned run, you really got to back that guy up.
Just get your ace a goddamn win, dude. That's all I want.
Yeah,
That's all he
he's got like
wants.
the third lowest run support in baseball.
He does behind only Zach Greinke, which he's on the Royals, so that's not really
Yeah,
that surprising. But yeah, for what this offense is supposed to be, this was just a fucking shitty game.
lifeless.
Yeah, lifeless is what. Bo Bichette was the only notable offensive player for the Jays. He went 3 for 4, but didn't drive in anything. So it's just
And didn't get driven in.
and didn't
So
get driven in exactly. So game two, game one, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
these are where the positives come in.
Yeah.
Because I just want to say once again, we said it before. Trevor Richards, hats off.
Yeah.
To come in an unfamiliar situation. I mean, I know he started a bit in the past. Coming up, he was a starter, but after so many years of being in the pen and now coming in and kind of splitting time between starting and relieving, it's been incredibly impressive. I mean, I just want to say that he's been incredibly important.
You could make the argument he's been our most valuable pitcher. Just
Yeah,
to the sheer fact
I
that
mean,
he's
you
come out
can
of the
make that
bullpen
argument
and yeah, like
in
he's come out
terms
of the
of
bullpen.
versatility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the guy's been a starter. He's been a reliever. He's come in for high leverage situations, starting situation. Like he's done everything. If you need like a hold in an inning, he can come in and do it. So yeah,
Yeah,
like 3 innings
yeah.
pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. I mean, like
He was just he had those Giants hitters in an absolute mental
frenzy.
pretzel. They had no
Exactly.
idea. You get the low fastball going in there, mixed up with a changeup. They were just looking at it.
Hmm.
It was really good. Also, shout out Bowden Francis. I know he's been kind of up and down throughout this stretch where he's kind of been used as the long man here. But he had probably his best appearance ever in the
Hmm.
major leagues in this game. And it resulted in him getting his first career win, which is great to see. Congrats, Bowden, on that one. Just gave up 4 hits over 4 innings. So he's giving you innings, which is great. Just 1 earned run, couple of strikeouts. Very, very solid performance
Hmm.
against a tough Giants lineup. So Bowden Francis, this was kind of, I would say this was for sure the best we've seen him.
Hmm.
And not sure how much more we'll see of him. But I think for the most part, he's been doing also a quite a good job with these bullpen days. This is the first bullpen day the Jays have tried since Manoah got sent down where they won.
Yeah.
So everything was going right because these days they can go off the rails quickly. But
Yeah. And
got to
speaking of
credit
Manoah, we'll talk about him a little
we
bit
will. We will. We'll
later.
get to that
Yeah.
after the recaps. We'll buzz through these quickly, and then we'll talk about him and the All Stars to
Yep.
wrap it up. George Springer, a lot of they got to the Jays got to Logan Webb in this game actually in the first inning, which is hard to do.
Hmm.
So after a bad offensive performance, they come out and they rough up one of the best pitchers in the National League. I would say he's
Yeah.
I
He's
think top
top.
five
He's top
favorites
five,
for the
top
Cy
10.
Young. Yeah, so he was having a great stretch of starts as well, and the Jays do get the offense kicking. A lot of just base hits.
Yep.
Maybe not the hardest hit balls, but George Springer starts it off with a double in the first. Bichette drives him in. A hit with a runner in scoring position. That's big. There were a couple of those. Danny Jansen had one. Brandon Bell also drove in a run, and so did Whit Merrifield.
Hmm.
So the bats get to a good pitcher. This was a bit of a feel-good game with the bullpen day. Finally, get a win on the bullpen day. Good pitching, timely hitting, got to a good pitcher early, and just kind of rode that into the sunset. So that
Hmm.
is a solid, solid performance. Nice to get a win at home there and snap that Giants winning streak on the road. And then game three, it was a tight one. It was a close one. Um, and there was not much going on until late in this game, which is credit
No.
to Chris Bassett, who was absolutely filthy. This might
Yep.
have been his filthiest start with the Toronto Blue Jays, just in
Yeah.
terms of
Career high in strikeouts with
yeah,
12.
career high in strikeouts. Just guys just looking completely lost
Hmm.
at the plate. And Chris Bassett needed it because he had been roughed up in his
Yeah.
previous few starts.
Was
So I
this his first start not calling his own game? I'm pretty
think
sure it was.
think it might have been. I think
Yeah.
halfway through his last one, he kind of quit on
Yeah.
that.
Sorry. Like first
So
game,
his
he
last,
started from
yeah,
0 pitches. Yeah.
yeah. So got to credit the guys behind the plate. I know Kirk caught him Tuesday with last night as we're recording. I think Danny caught him in this
Danny
game.
caught him in this game. I'm
So
pretty
he's
sure.
got
Yeah.
two both catchers now trying to work with him and figuring out how to call his game. So it's not an easy task when you got a guy with those many pitches and you're trying to think along with them. But it seems like both guys are doing a good job, and
Hmm.
Bassick can now just focus on executing, which is great. And the Giants had a guy on the mound in this one that was also pitching really well. His name is escaping me right now. And he
Yeah.
was throwing a lot of splitters,
Yeah.
throwing a lot of splitters. Not much doing for the Jays offense against it. And then Vlad
No.
steps to the plate,
Hmm.
the runner on.
The
And this
guy's
at
name was
bat,
Keaton Wynn. Keaton Wynn.
yeah, Keaton Wynn. He was dealing
Hmm.
a lot of swing and miss on that splitter.
Yep.
But you could see in this at bat, I love this at bat from Vlad because he got a splitter, crushed it foul. He's starting
Hmm.
to get his swagger back. He's nodding. He's like, I see that. I see that. Do that again. I'm timing that up.
Hmm.
He got one, and he didn't miss it. Crushed it for a 2-run shot. Probably his biggest, most Vlad-like home run. The home run that maybe felt the best as fans.
Hmm.
Go ahead home run in the later innings, after the team had been shut out all day, he's the guy you're looking to in those moments where, the offense can't get a run. One big swing from him can change everything. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. He did it again in the White Sox series. We'll get to that next week. But that was the first home run I can remember from him this year. That was a real game changer. And it changed this game because it gave the Jays the 2 runs they needed to end up with the win. Romano gets a save. Mesa.
Mono, it's never clean.
I know. He gets the
Never
save
clean.
right, but he did allow a run, and it was a little nerve-wracking, but he ended up getting it done. His solid season continues. I mean, he's still up there amongst the league leaders in saves. I mean, as Jays fans, we watch him every time out, so we might not always be completely content, but he did lock it down in the end as the Jays take 2 or 3 from a very, very, very solid San Francisco Giants team. And it's kind of, not necessarily as good as it could get, but like this season, it's okay. So we take it. It just kind of echoes the season in general, maybe. But you're thinking.
Can we string together like a 5 or 6 game win streak for the love of
And I
God,
found it
please?
interesting too, and we can maybe talk about this throughout this Boston series. There were a couple of quotes that kind of came out from the guys. One was Gossman about kind of the Jays having a target on their back, which I do agree with. And I do kind of maybe want to touch on that a bit. But another one's just Chris Bassett just saying, I don't think we've clicked yet all at the same time. I agree with that.
Well, he's right. Either the pitching's great. I said this on the TikTok account. I said either the pitching's great and the offense sucks, or the offense is great and the pitching can't hold a lead, or
Matt Chapman's hitting 380, but nobody else is hitting. It just seems like they haven't really clicked completely.
Or everything's clicking, but the defense is making errors. It happened in game 2 of this series.
It seems like they have not yet been completely in sync and firing on all cylinders, which, it's getting late. Like, it's got to happen. It's not like, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen soon. If it's not going to happen, I guess it's not going to happen. But that one's been the theme of this season. But they do take 2 or 3, and then, okay, let's get to it. This series was just, I mean, the Boston Red Sox, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we can maybe talk about it more after we go through it. But game 1, I mean, another shutout loss. Offense just not really there at all. I mean, you got to credit the big maple, James Paxton. I mean, he looked pretty filthy in this game, but
he always pitches so well against the Jays. He pitched his only career no-hitter against them with Seattle, in 2018?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
No.
But yes, he has thrown a no-hitter against them, and he's been good since he came back. But he was really, really, really good. A real tough lefty. Jose Barrios, not his finest start, gave up 3 home runs, which I think is the most he's given up all year.
I think it was all 4 of the runs that he gave up were off of a solo shot.
Oh yeah, you're right. So 4 home runs.
Oh no, wait, no, I might be wrong. I think Devers was a 2-run. I'm pretty sure Devers. Oh no, that was in Kikuchi's start. Sorry.
2.
Yeah,
I remember Turner hit 1.
I think it might have been 4, but even still, I mean,
3 or 4. I think he gave up tied. He tied or surpassed the most home runs he's allowed in a game.
Yeah.
I mean, he was making those mistakes again. He was making those mistakes. I mean, he was good. He was better. It wasn't last year.
And he didn't walk anybody.
Yeah,
had 8 strikeouts.
He had 8 strikeouts, but again, the mistakes. This is what I want the Jays to do a bit more of. Even if a guy's kind of shutting you down, if he misses, you got to make him pay. And yes, you got to credit the Red Sox lineup. They did. I mean, I remember Yoshida hit an absolute moonshot. That was one of the home runs. And yeah, I mean, Barrios, it was okay. 4 earned runs. You still think you have a chance, but then the offense just completely shut down. At home to start Canada Day weekend. No life. So that's concerning.
Yeah, just 3 hits and a walk in this game.
Yeah.
That's it. Between the whole offense. That's it.
Against the team you should want to be making a statement against, because they handed your lunch to you when you went to Fenway earlier in the year, and now you're 0-5 against the Red Sox after this game. Okay. the pain and embarrassment continues into Canada Day.
Mhm.
I mean, this game, anyways, there's a lot to get to in this game, so let's just get right into it. Jays lose game one, 5-0. Game two, Canada Day. Great atmosphere, great little pregame moment. Gotta love
Mhm.
Canada Day. Just want to say that.
Mhm.
Jays on Canada Day. It's a great tradition. It's a great game to watch and to attend if you can. Um, it's it's just one of their marquee games of the year. So that's great, all fun and good. That was nice. And then Yusei Kikuchi took the mound. He was solid. He was solid. George Springer actually led off the game for the Jays with a solo home run, a leadoff
Mhm.
home, one of his patented leadoff home runs, which
Yep.
you're feeling great after that. You think they're just going to take off now and they're not going to look back. Well, no, that's not what happened at all. Kikuchi ends up giving up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. So a bit more of a standard Kikuchi start, not maybe some of the
Pretty much what
incredible
you can
ones.
expect out of your fifth starter.
Yeah, I mean, not
You know.
not like his past two have been quite spectacular. I will say, and this was kind of back to more of the Kikuchi we saw earlier in the year.
Mhm.
I won't go last year because he's still not at that level at all. He's much better than that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Devers hit I think a double. Just the Red Sox were relentless in this series with the bats. I mean, they were
Yeah.
very opportunistic, and again, like as much as I don't like saying it, you have to credit them. Like they seemed like every time they had a chance, they were taking it in this whole series, and credit to them. That's really as much a credit to them as it is a knock on the Jays. Um, but I think it was what 6-2 at one point in this game, and
I
the Jays
believe
battled
so.
back. Matt
Mhm.
Chapman hit a 2-run shot. Bo Bichette also had a bomb in
Mhm.
this game. I believe that made it 2-2.
Yep.
But the Red Sox kind of distanced themselves, made it 6-2. Matt Chapman brought the Jays right back with a 2-run shot.
Mhm.
Um, so now, was it 6-4, 6-5?
I think it was 6-5 after that.
It was 6-5. There was an RBI mixed in somewhere.
Mhm.
Uh,
I,
and
I'm gonna be honest, straight up with everybody. I was up at a cottage for the weekend, so I didn't really have a chance to watch the games. I was listening to it while me and my buddy Nick, shout out Nick, we had the radio broadcast on his Bluetooth speaker while we were cooking hot dogs.
yeah, I was also listening to this on the
Yeah,
radio.
yeah. So I
But I
there's an
did
RBI mix in
see,
there somewhere, but
yes, yes. So they had it close in the ninth again. The tough stretch from Swanson continued. He gave up a home run to Justin Turner, who had a great series,
yeah,
to make it a 2-run game. But the Jays found life in the ninth. They had 2 runners on. It ended up being third and second, 2 out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate, tying run at second base. Um, I got to credit Vlad here. Really
yeah,
good piece of hitting.
yeah,
Really good piece of hitting.
tremendous.
Take a Kenley Jansen pitch on the outside corner, maybe even off the plate, and just serve it in the right field. And then the debacle happened. I mean, Springer scores easily from third. Bichette hesitates around third.
Because Louis Rivera had a stroke mid fucking wave around third.
Yeah, something happened there.
If you
The
look at the
sign, the
replay,
sign was not up. There was,
exactly. If you look at the replay, Bo is like he's rounding, and then he kind of stops up, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta go," because Rivera
yeah,
just kind of went
yeah,
like, "What the fuck is that?"
yeah. There wasn't much of a sign there, and Bichette, he's out by a mile at the plate after that indecisiveness. You got Verdugo out there, good arm. Um, and the Jays lose a heartbreaker. I mean, yeah, back to that Bichette play. In my opinion, I mean, the ball's hit right at him.
Yeah,
Why is it a thought in anyone's mind to try and test it? You got Brandon Bell coming up. Guy's been
yeah,
hitting well.
yeah. Has the highest on base percentage since May 4th in the American
Yeah,
League.
like
Even if he
I don't
doesn't
know
hit, he
why.
walks, you load the bases.
I don't get why it was even a question to send him. I know that Louis Rivera obviously didn't put up a great sign.
Mm.
But even if you're Bo, I know it's hard to take a peek and see exactly where the ball's heading if it's hit right at him or if you have to run for it. I know that's why there's a third base coach in the first place. But if you have even a shadow of doubt, even after you round and you have that little hesitation, just go back.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back. There's no urgency, you know. I mean, the aggressiveness, it works sometimes. Bo's ran through a stop sign this year and it's worked. But in a situation like that,
You're not Trey Turner.
yeah, I mean,
You're not that
it's
fast.
just, Kenley Jansen, he's struggling out there. You're glad, you're making him work. He
Mm-hmm.
he was in for a 4-out save. Um, so he's probably getting a bit tired. It's probably one of his longer appearances recently, if not all season, in terms of pitches thrown. And if Belt strikes out or is out, then you live with it. But
Mm-hmm.
at least you can look back and say we were never going to score on that single. At least we gave ourselves a chance. But the Jays can't say that. A bit of a lapse. I don't really even. I mean, I guess Rivera is the one who's got to be
His
keeping
whole
Bo
job
honest.
there is to pick up the ball and pick up
Yeah,
the
I guess
runner.
he's
That's
got to
it.
be keeping Bo honest there. And
Yeah.
even after the hesitation, you can yell at him and say, "Come back. It's okay. It's okay."
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a very unfortunate way for things to end. The Jays are now 0-6 against the Red Sox.
About to be 0-7.
And yeah, all foreshadowing. I mean, it's just tough. Great vibes on Canada Day. Kind of
Uh-huh.
spoiled by a play at the plate at the end. A truly heartbreaking way for it to end. So the Jays are in a hole here in this series. So would they get out of it? No. Anyways, let's get into it here. They lose that game 7-6. Game three, Kevin Gossman back on the mound. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as good as the Giants start, but he was still, this is the thing about Kevin Gossman. These are things about these elite pitchers is even if they don't have their A game, they still give you a definite chance to win the game. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what Kevin Gossman did in this game. Um, yeah, without question. He only went 5 innings, a shorter start for him. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. For a not so great performance, that's still a very, very, very solid outing. Um, and then, I mean, yeah, the Jays offense, I mean, they were battling Brandon Belt, two home
Mm-hmm.
runs.
Yeah,
Quite the, after the Jays fell behind early, he tied it up, and then he ended up giving the Jays the lead.
he did.
With the home
Made it
run.
3-2, I believe, at that point.
Uh, Absolutely, but these pesky Red Sox, man. I mean, Rafael Devers. I've never seen this guy hit like singles like this.
No,
Like he's just hitting RBI singles. Like he doesn't do that, but
it's
he
not
did that
him.
against the Jays. I mean, it's kind of frustrating because the Red Sox lineup. I mean, God, they're nothing special really when you look at it. But
No.
against the Jays this year, they have been just so clutch. Like every opportunity they have to score a run, they're doing it. And I mean, it's kind of what the Jays aren't able to do. And it frustrates opponents. It frustrates opposing fans, as you can see right now. I mean, you got to credit them. They kept piling on runs and making it tough for the Jays until we entered the ninth inning, tied at 4. Jordan Romano comes in the tie game. And on his, first pitch?
First
First
pitch.
pitch fastball, cookie. Alex Verdugo hit a home run, go ahead home run. Very similar, very, very similar situation to Fenway Park earlier this year when Verdugo hit a home run off of Romano, a walk-off home run off of Romano. So I don't know, maybe he just has his number at this point, but um, I mean, I know we talk about the slider, I know we talk about the fastball, but this just wasn't maybe his best fastball. Kind of sitting right in the sweet spot, didn't get it up maybe as much as he wanted to, and credit to
Mm-hmm.
Verdugo, he just crushed it. From there, the Jays go quietly in the ninth, and that big swing from Verdugo really, crushed the Jays and ended up with them getting swept.
Hmm.
Seven,
Yeah.
7-20 against the American League East this season. You have to say, I mean, it's the toughest division in baseball. No game in that division is easy these days.
Nope.
But still, for a team with as much talent as the Jays have, and just to see, winnable games.
Yeah.
Maybe game one wasn't winnable because you got shut out, but the second two definitely winnable. And
Yeah.
just things not go your way, it's tough. Um, they fall out of a wild card spot by the end of the weekend.
Yep.
And not many positives to take out of this one. It was honestly, to me, it was quite embarrassing actually. The Red Sox are not a team that you should be getting swept by, especially on a weekend like Canada Day weekend where you should be juiced for these games. Um, so yeah, I mean, Jack, do you want to go off for a second, say what you want to say?
I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Jordan Romano needs a third pitch because when the slider ain't sliding, it's not good. It's really not good. We've seen it happen where the slider turns into a meatball. And then
Yeah.
we've seen it, and we saw it with the Verdugo hit. He came out through a first pitch fastball, four seam 96, which we know Jordan can touch 100. He's touched 101 a few times. That didn't happen. Threw a 96-mile-an-hour heater right down the dick, and Verdugo didn't miss.
Yeah.
Credit to Alex Verdugo. As much as I think he's a bit of a punk because of the stuff he said about Manoah, he's a good hitter. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't be a white guy wearing an ice grill in your fucking team photo. Sorry, Alex. No, not happening. This Chris, I said it after we got swept, after that final out was recorded. The Jays need a shakeup. A trade needs to happen. Someone like there's something wrong with the I don't know if it's the chemistry. Like they say hitting's contagious, and like they string hits together. Like one guy hits, it gets everyone else going. That's just not the case with this team. One guy can have a 3 for 4 or 4 for 5 night like Bo Bichette, and the rest of the offense just nothing. So my wonder is like you have a surplus of second base talent on this team. You have Biggio, Espinal, you have Witt. At this point, after he's going to be an all-star, do you if you're Ross Atkins at the deadline, do you go, okay, should I go and try and make a package deal sending Whit Merrifield and like Adam Simber or Jimmy Garcia, like just someone that, because like realistically Simber when Zach Pop comes back or even Jimmy are not really going to have a spot, although I'd much rather keep Jimmy than fucking Simber at this point. Do you package Witt and Simber for a legitimate run provider, a guy who can come in and drive and runs, right?
It's become clear that the Jays need an impact bat.
We don't have one, and unfortunately, like Vladdy's been that guy over the past 10 games. But who's to say he's not
in the lineup? That's where we're at. There's no other way to look at it. Yeah, and I mean, you're going to lose one next year, an impact bat in Matt Chapman. He's gone. So you're going to have to figure something out. I mean, it is probably a lot easier to make that deal in the offseason. At the trade deadline this year. You're going to run it probably with, the vast majority of the lineup you have now to finish this season. I mean, you're going to make some tweaks. They might get a middle of the road bat. But
just someone who can drive and runs with runners on base.
Tell you what, man, after last night, give me Luis Robert, man. Give him to me.
Yeah, I know. That guy is something else. He's something to behold, but honestly, he's under contract.
My number one.
He's under contract with the White Sox for another 3 years.
25 home runs.
I know.
He's not going to be easy to get.
No, I don't think he's up for grabs, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing with the White Sox too, is that they're in a division that
they're only 7.5 games out.
They're still in it because their division's so bad. So who knows if they even want to go that route? But
1 10-game win streak for them, and they're in first place.
Yeah, I mean, and I look around at teams that are selling or could be selling with talent. He's probably the guy I think fits the best.
Yeah.
But you look around, you got the Cardinals. They've got some guys, some fringe guys.
Arenado.
Who aren't playing every day. We've been over that. Yes, that's something. Down. But even they've got guys like Brendan Donovan. I love Brendan. I like Brendan Donovan.
Literally plays every position.
And he's not maybe as coveted as a guy like Robert or Arenado would be. So maybe you could get him for a bit less. The Padres could be a team to look at. Seems like they hate each other there. They literally have an issue in the clubhouse there. It seems
there's something wrong.
I think they actually hate each other, but
I think there's some going on. I think that guys on that in that roster think that Tatis is a disgrace to the game.
Well, I think something's going on between all those big egos.
Well,
And it's
like
evident that they just aren't getting
who's got the biggest ego in that clubhouse? You think, real
along.
quick? My money's on Manny Machado, but
Yeah, it's tough. There's a lot, and I mean that's what you get when you bring in all these
although Juan
superstars.
Soto did say he's not afraid to shuffle on Shohei Ohtani's ass, even though Ohtani struck him out twice. So I'm gonna go maybe Soto on my answer.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway, point
mean
is
you could
back to the
look
Jays.
at any of those guys. Yeah,
The Jays need a run producing bat, and we don't have it right
they
now.
need a proven bat
Why
and a
don't you go out and get a guy who's a former All Star who's on the last year of his contract with a
Nelson Cruz.
struggling team? No, not Nelson Cruz. Although
About to
that'd be
get
pretty
paid.
funny. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny.
Wouldn't be surprised. I
Uh,
would tell you what, I would not be surprised because
I
the Jays
was
don't have much to trade.
no, I was thinking National League West. I was, but I was thinking the Colorado Rockies, and I was thinking Mr. Chuck Nasty Charlie Blackmon.
Oh, I would like that.
He's
I would like
he's a lefty. He can hit for power. He's older. He's 36. He's not as old as Nelson Cruz. He ain't 42, but a guy who's on the last year of his contract. If you could get the Rockies to retain like 30% of his salary, so you're
Yeah.
not paying him 18, you're paying him whatever. What would that be, like 11 or 12 million, right? Just so they eat some of that contract up. I think that would open a lot of doors. You stick him. He's still got speed, and you just stick him in the DH spot. And then that maybe opens up an opportunity. You maybe send Belt the other way or Witt the other way. Just do a trade, like a 1-for-1. You get rid of a bit of speed on Witt's end, and then you get a guy who can drive in runs. You know, like because Witt's gonna hit for contact. There's no doubt about that. But the Jays need a guy that fuck contact right now. Fuck contact. We need a guy when we got two
I would
runners
homer
on.
the other team is what I want.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what the Jays have. Their whole identity has been up until the season is out homering their opponent and then winning ball games. And then it's like, I don't know. You know,
Anyways,
like
Jays need an
yeah,
established bat. You guys,
yeah.
if you guys have a good trade proposal, yeah,
Comment.
mention it down in the comments below. We got just about a month until the trade deadline, just under a month, I believe. So,
August 1st.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that chatter is going to pick up real quick here. So if you guys have a good idea for a proven bat that the Jays need in their lineup right now, you could shoot that in the comments down below. So yeah, let's move on to the news kind of the
Yeah.
week. Not games per se, but kind of the news. So Alek Manoah, we mentioned it briefly last week, his Florida Gulf Coast League start, which was horrible. So he gave up 11 earned runs. Who knows what was going on? Could have been working on things. Could have been, just trying to be in the zone. That's it. Who knows what was going on? No one really knows. There's no video that the public has of this start. Who knows? Numbers weren't pretty. So I mean, the Jays decided. I thought this was interesting.
Promoted him to Double-A.
Starting in Double-A, because I'm like, why?
They must have seen something, Chris, that even though, because John Schneider said that even though his numbers said 11 earned runs, they said they saw something in his delivery that it was what has been absent all year.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, I don't necessarily know in the start in the Florida Gulf Coast League if you're necessarily pitching as you would be in even a Double-A game. Like, you could be just working on things.
Exactly.
You could be just trying to have your delivery the way that you want it and that the team thinks you should have it, and just trying to get balls in the zone. And if those balls get crushed because you're putting them in hittable spots, but that's what you want, then that's what happens. But his Double-A start was televised so people could see it. I watched some of it, and it was quite good. Gave up 1 earned, struck out 10, and it is Double-A. These aren't major league hitters.
No.
But he was showing some semblance of the old Alek Manoah, just the way that it looked. The eye test. He reminded me of the Manoah of old.
He was in the zone a lot more, which is encouraging.
He's elevating the fastball effectively, both arm side to lefties, sinking balls in on righties. The slider looked okay. I saw him steal a couple strikes with the slider early in the count, which is big for him. So I thought, okay, good, positive step. Now we can do it again.
Yep.
Well, that's not exactly what's happening, Jack. The Jays have announced that Manoah is going to start on Friday against the Detroit Tigers. Now, I will say,
in not Camden Yards, in
Comerica
Park. Thank you.
Very pitcher friendly park against Stadium. minor league type team.
Offensively, yeah.
Yeah, one of the worst teams offensively in the league. So everything seems to line up for Manoah almost with the opponent, with the park. The fact that it comes right before the All-Star break. And I think what they'll do is they'll have that start and then they can send him back to some league that doesn't have an All-Star break, whether it be back to the pitching complex, back to the Gulf Coast League. He'll get, I think, another minor league type of start during the MLB All-Star break. I think they're going to start him on Friday, send him back. He'll work more. And then hopefully after the All-Star break, he'll have some more reps and he can come back and
yeah. And not to mention, we also got to mention Hyunjin Ryu had his first rehab assignment start. Three innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, no walks. He was touching 88. So who's to say he won't be back by July 5th?
Anyway, yeah. No, that's a great sign. But back to Manoah. A lot of people are saying it's early.
I agree.
It very well could be. But again, I don't think you have much to lose at this point in the season. Again, like I said, with the All-Star break, I think it lines up for it. I don't necessarily 100% agree that it's the right time to do it, but I don't really think there's a better time to try it than this game on Friday.
Why not? Really, like he could, he could have started more in AA, had a couple starts at AAA, but if my head ball should be my uncle. So it is what it is, man. Like this is what we got.
It's very soon. It's very unexpected, but I tell you what, man, I'm excited.
Yeah. I hope to God, you know what, Chris? You know how great it would be if he just comes out and he just dominates.
We both want him to do that.
Yes, we do. Alek,
if you're a real Blue Jays fan, you want that.
Alek, we believe in you.
Everyone's going to be cheering for him. Absolutely.
Yeah. So on that note,
should we do the All-Stars quick? Very quick?
Yeah. So we got Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going to the All-Star game. Kevin Gausman will be a starting pitcher. Jordan Romano did get snubbed, but that's fine. He's been kind of shaky, although he does lead all major leagues closers and saves. But Whit Merrifield as well going to the All-Star game. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. participating in the home run derby, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. He said he has zero approach. He said he's just gonna go out there and hit bombs. So
Love
can't wait to see it. Hopefully he wins this one because Pete Alonso is a false champion in my eyes.
In this one, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll
get a Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This has been Chris, Jack, wherever the hell I can't remember which side we're on. Anyway, folks, take it easy.
Take it easy, guys. Yeah.